Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, are you ready for the best damn sports show? It's the Man Hour!
I would like to personally welcome you to Man Hour After Dark. Say that then. While I bring you the host, Mike, Buck, and Cone. You know who's coming to the sports talk than what you about to hear right here. I second that.
Go. You know that it's us when we talking about sports. Giving you facts on the field to the core. Tune in, we need the support. 1 hour too short, still listen some more. On all your stations, not dropping no music. Starts like Adidas, but Nike just do it. Down 4 in the 4th, we go for the win. Michael 2 seconds, we taking it in. Buck, Mike, and Combs, you know what's going on. Man, now we're After Dark, no LA, we the big spark. No 4th and inches, won't cut you short. Got the best talking, it's all sports. Buzzing more than buzz beaters. We coming live all through your speakers, go.
And welcome to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse here along with Wyatt Williams tonight. We have an action-packed show for you tonight. We have Bracket Busters. We have Jacoby Cooper, or Cooper Jacoby, I should say. My bad. Get those two flip around. Cooper Jacoby coming on the air tonight. But first, let's welcome the peanut butter to my jelly, Wyatt Williams. What's going on, Wyatt?
What is up, everybody? Man Hour Nation, we got some awesome stuff coming up for you. A crazy show, Bracket Busters, NFL. It's going to be awesome. Can't wait.
I totally botched that intro. So, guys, be sure to head over to manhourradio.com. Check out the blog section. Pick up some merchandise as well. Brandon Combs is a little MIA tonight. He is under the weather. I'm getting close there, too, man. These allergies are kicking my butt, Wyatt.
I kind of like the hey, I like this even more. Let me get party on, Garth.
Party on, Wayne.
But party on, Wayne. Party on, Garth. Party time.
So, funny fact about that, my son's name is River Wayne, right?
Yes.
And then we had his second boy, and I wanted his middle name to be Garth. And Sydney's like, why? And it's like, baby, haven't you ever seen
Wayne's World?
And she's like, I hate you right now. And she just walked away. And she's like, no. So needless to say, I did not have choice in any of my son's names whatsoever. So
nice.
Like it is what it is. But why it is the Monday show here on Big X Sports Radio 96.1. How was your weekend, man? Like, what did you do all weekend?
Well, I slept.
Surprise.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I went up to Seymour, watched my man Trey Kaufman, Cooper Jacoby, who's going to be on the show later. I watched my guys play in their Semi-State game. They beat Garin Catholic and advanced to the state championship round, something they would have been 3-peating on right now, but they're only 2-peating. That's okay, though. But, I got to watch them play some basketball. Today went bowling. Trey came with us, Nikki, and Nikki's brother. His name's Bryce. We all went bowling, and then watched some NCAA basketball. Had some really exciting moments. Had some tear-dropping moments. But hey, that's March Madness, baby. That's what we live for. That's why it's March Madness. It's not, there's never been a perfect bracket for a reason. It's March Madness.
Speaking of perfect brackets, your man Buck Nasty is leading the Man Hour Bracket Challenge, Wyatt, and I believe you guys were all laughing at me like, "Oh, your picks are ridiculous." Look who's laughing now, Wyatt. I am in first place by 10 points here. Actually, I'm up by 30 points now because we've had some bigger things there. It looks like you are in second with the asterisk, so that means you are tied with I believe it's Brian Pirtle you are tied with, and then Tori Anderson comes in at fourth, and Combs is coming up the rear. But
Combs had Illinois winning it all.
Combs, Tori, and Brian Pirtle all had Illinois. I have Oklahoma State, and you got Gonzaga. So we are still in the rent, but nobody has a Final Four left. Like, if you said that, you are a lie. But you got something to say?
No, I don't. The only people who have a Final Four left is if you maybe had like Abilene Christian and Oral Roberts and Gonzaga and like, I don't know, Loyola Chicago. If you had those four in your Final Four, then you did great. No, nobody. That's what I was talking with Nikki's brother, my friend Bryce. I was talking to him. I was like, man, like, everybody talks about having a perfect bracket, but I don't think anybody even had like a perfect Sweet 16 right now. Like,
no,
I genuinely don't think anybody could predict this tournament like in a million years. Like there's no way anybody could have predicted this. It was nuts. Like there were, we after a day of playing games, there were 4 brackets left that were perfect, and then those all got knocked out the first game of the day. Like all 4 of them had the same.
I saw ESPN had like 20, or like they had 50 perfect brackets left after the first day, and then come Saturday afternoon they're down to 20. And maybe now, like
they're out now. I already checked. There's not a perfect bracket left, I don't think.
Right.
I'll check again, but it's just crazy how fast these things just went out of nowhere. And it sucks because like I started off the day and I was like, perfect the whole way through. But no, there's not a perfect bracket left. The most perfect bracket has everything right at this point except for Abilene Christian. They had Texas winning and Abilene Christian losing. If Texas would have won, we would still have a perfect bracket. But
your
March Madness for that reason.
Is pretty. I'm at 99.3%, so I'm not for sure what that means because I definitely don't have 99% of the games picked. That must be like the percentile. So I'm definitely up there, man.
I think so. Yeah,
you're scraping by the 80s. Like, how's that feel?
Not. I'm in the 90s.
No, you're not. 88.8. 88.8, man.
False. Oh man, I just hit the 80s, bro. I've been in the 90s this whole time.
Hey,
I just hit the 80s. That sucks. Man.
So why? Like, how does it truly feel to be labeled as our draft or by our March Madness expert here, and to be basically outpicked by somebody that
Well, hold on now. We're not even to the Sweet 16 yet. I
doesn't matter,
so
man. I'm going to
over there, Buck Nasty.
It is time to gloat.
Let's simmer down a little bit.
No, actually, though, looking at the points, I believe. No, I can still max you out more, but you are, like. Basically, Wyatt, like, as long as our bracket stays 50% correct, it is going to be a 2-man race for you and me and the.
Yeah, I think we're pulling away on this.
The
thing is, though, it's funny because both of us have Oklahoma State going all the way to the finals. You have them winning, I have them losing. So that means just as long as Gonzaga wins out, I think I can beat you in points on that because we've both got. Probably. Oklahoma State going the distance. So just as long as Gonzaga holds strong for me, I think I'll beat you on that one. Now, some of my other bracket pulls, I had a very strong lead after day 1, then day 2 hit, and I only had 2 things wrong on all of day 1. Like 2 or 3 things wrong. That's it. Then day 2, oh man, it hit me sideways. I will say though, I predicted the Ohio game. I was very excited about that. I was downstairs watching that game and I was screaming at the TV just like, please pull this out. That would be so awesome if I actually predicted that. That's how I predicted that one, but failed to do everything else. I mean, I had Texas and Ohio State in my Final Four. So if that tells you how my bracket's doing right now, it's severely busted. Hey,
yeah,
but my champ.
We will be talking a lot more bracket talk here in a little bit, like after the break. But let's go ahead and get to this comment here that Jameson just said that the 49ers are among 6 teams still interested in Deshaun Watson beside all the legal issues. If you guys have been living underneath the rock, there's basically 21 women that has said that Deshaun Watson has sexually assaulted by him in the since March 2020.
So, hold it.
Go ahead.
Who are the teams? I see it now.
Yeah, the 49ers, Eagles,
Eagles,
Jets, Dolphins, Broncos.
Wow. I mean, I did not expect all those teams to still hang on, and the Patriots aren't in that.
Well, first of all,
Eagles, Panthers, Jets, Dolphins, Broncos, and Niners. That's it. No Patriots.
I don't think nobody is turned off by this legal matter. Let's just be flat out honest. Because if you want to address the elephant in the room, they have not even filed evidence to the police officers yet. They went directly to a lawyer saying they want cash. And then they're like, "Hey, we're filing a civil suit or something to that effect," and they haven't even addressed the facts yet. They're just kind of there's a thing called due processes where you're supposed to go A, B, C, D, E, F, G, right?
Yeah.
They went from A to G, and now they're circling back to B. Yeah, it's just it is like somebody saying I want a great job, and they graduate high school, and then now they're a CEO of a company, and they're like, oh crap, I need a college education. Let me suck around and go get at that. It just doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
It's come on, why this screams of foul play, man. Let's just be flat out honest.
Oh, absolutely. No, I totally agree with you. And I think, you mentioned they went from A to G. I think they went from A to Z and then back to A again, or maybe B. It was wild. But it's weird though, and I really thought whenever we pull, that list up there, it having the Eagles, Panthers, Jets, Dolphins, and Broncos and Niners, I didn't expect, here it is right here. I didn't expect the Patriots to not be on a list like this. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I get it that they still probably have interest and stuff like that, but these are the top teams that are really pursuing them and the names that are coming out, and we all knew, like, the Panthers, of course, we've seen a lot of stuff about that. We've all seen a lot of stuff about the Jets, of course, as well, and the Dolphins. Right. But Eagles, that kind of came out of left field a little bit to see the Eagles on there. That kind of raises the question for me, is this going to be another issue with the Eagles trying to have two quarterbacks? Like, what are they doing now? Like, I don't understand what they're ever doing.
What show did you miss last week? I believe it was a Thursday show last week that like you went to you had some family time and spent some time with the lady friends and whatnot. But the Eagles general manager said they are still exploring all their options at quarterback still. So the ownership might be sold on Jalen, right? But the general manager and the coaches, I was like, nah, let's take a step back and look what we got here. So
let's pump the brakes a wee bit.
Right. I mean, come on. Like, that is absolutely crazy to me. So let me ask you this question. Are the Eagles making a mistake by even putting Deshaun Watson's name in the mix?
No, not at all. I like Jalen Hurts. I liked what I saw from him last year, but it's also as simple as this. When you get a quarterback like that, the reason why they're going to succeed early, like like most quarterbacks do when they come right out the gate, is because you don't have film on them. You don't have NFL film to, put up against them. That's why Lamar's MVP year, he went crazy. And then last year you kind of saw a regression. It wasn't a regression. It was just the fact that people are really starting to catch on.
He's not that good.
Fine. Right. And people are trying to finding ways to kind of slow him down a little bit. So it's going to be the same thing with every quarterback. Jalen's going to find at some point he's going to hit that wall. At some point it's going to hit and it's going to be like, what's happening here, and when that does hit, I don't know, but I got to say, Deshaun Watson's battle tested. We've seen him. We've seen what he can do. He's a good quarterback. He's a really good quarterback. He wins games when he has good teammates around him. He wins games when he has a coaching situation above him, right. Which is, as everybody does. You need that kind of stuff to succeed in the league. Yeah. And
even at the high school level, right? You need good coaching around you so you can succeed. But
except at the DC position, other than that, right. You see kids succeed now. But yeah, no, I don't think it's any problem to look at Deshaun Watson if your best option is Jalen Hurts. I don't think that's a bad situation whatsoever.
All right, guys.
Watson's got a better arm.
All right, guys. So I do see a lot of NFL comments coming through here. So, guys, stay tuned to hour number 2 as we do have some NFL talk happening, some NFL free agency, some draft talk happening on hour number 2. But coming up here on the Man Hour, we are going to dive deep into the NCAA March Madness tournament so far. Brackets have been busted. We have big surprises. We have teams getting kicked out because of COVID concerns. There's a lot to talk about in the NCAA tournament, but that is coming up right here, right after the break, guys. We'll be right back here on the Man Hour. And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with with Wyatt Williams tonight. Brandon is MIA tonight. He is under the weather. The allergies have taken his life and souls away. Just as they're taking mine away right now. I mean, allergies in Southern Indiana are absolutely no joke. I don't know. It's terrible, man. And I got a sneeze coming on right now. I can feel it. So Wyatt, oh man. Here, let me like what they say. Like I hate.
Look up at the light and say watermelon.
I hate it's like the smoke and then the lights. Yeah, there you go. I don't know, man.
I think you just look up and say watermelon.
Watermelon. I'm not for sure if that helped or not. But guys, head over to manhourradio.com. If you're going to miss any part of the show whatsoever, you can download this on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. We also have the clips over on the YouTube channel if you want to just catch a section of the show. Like if you want to catch the interview with Cooper Jacoby coming up here in about, an hour or so? Why 45 minutes Cooper will be on. So,
yes, sir.
So we got Cooper coming on. So if you are going to miss it, head over to youtube.com/manhour, hit that subscribe button, and I'll get that clip uploaded some point Monday afternoon. So with that being said, guys, March Madness is here, Wyatt. I mean, brackets have been busted. Teams have been lost. Ohio State got beat by a 15 seed. That was one game that nobody I feel saw coming. Like we said, what 15 seed could beat an 82 seed, and everybody had that Alabama. I know the game circle. Nobody had no idea Ohio State was going to get beat. So
no, I even said the show before that day that they played. I said, if there's a 2 seed that beats a 15 seed, I said it's going to be Iona. I said, but another really good 15 seed that there's no way they win. There's no way they'll beat Ohio State is Oral Roberts. They got like one of the top scorers in the nation points wise. I said that, but I even said on top of it, I was like, yeah, but there's no way they beat Ohio State, so it doesn't matter. Right. But and then here we are.
Well, welcome to March 100% here.
Yeah,
here, White. But one game that did not happen was the VCU game versus Oregon. VCU had to, quote, opt out because of COVID concerns. They had 2 or 3 players test positive. So first things first, White, is this kind of crap that they had to opt out?
I mean, it sucks for them, and VCU fans will tell you now it is. And it's a really tough situation because here's the deal. If you hold and then you let them play, what if somebody gets it and you didn't expect them to get it, and then they spread it throughout the thing and you have to cancel the tournament? That's a possibility. Also, if you don't let them if you let them hold out, then that'll delay the tournament because they have a round of 32 today. If you can't play, right, a couple of days ago, how can you play now? You know what I mean? Like the round of 32 has been going today and yesterday as well. So, it is what it is. The tournament has to go on, so it sucks. It absolutely sucks. And I hate it for them. But at the same time, I'm sorry about your luck. This is something everybody knew going into the tournament. If you got COVID, that's all you wrote, that's it. So, and like I said, I hate to say it and I hate to do it, but it is what it is.
So the one thing that kind of upsets me about the whole situation is there were 2 kids that tested positive, right? Just two kids, right? And I'm not going to get into the political aspect of the whole COVID thing because let's be honest, like COVID was a very politically driven, for the election and yada yada yada. But I got COVID tested every week during football season, right? Every Tuesday I would go down to the hospital and I would get tested simply just because like I was around 80 plus kids. I was around my sons and wives, right? Like I wanted to make sure, right? There were times that I did 3 tests at once, Wyatt. 3 tests, right, at 3 different spots. One of them came back positive. 2 of them came back negative. So there is a such thing as a false positive, right?
Oh yeah.
So like I believe the percentage of a false positive was like right around 15 or 17%. Like don't quote me on those numbers, but it was fairly high.
When I got my COVID test, when I had COVID in like October of 2020, they told me like right as soon as they were doing the test, they were like, yeah, and just so you know, it has a 30% false positive rate. I'm like, 30%? Like 3 out of 10 of these tests are fake? Like 3 out of these 10 are wrong.
Well, it is not fake. It is just it is just the fact that they mass produced these tests so quickly that there were a lot of shortcuts happening, much like the Deshaun Watson case. There's a lot of shortcuts happening in that case. But then it comes to mind, correct me if I'm wrong, but a college basketball team dresses 12 players, right?
I believe so, yes.
So they still had 10 players to play the basketball game. Why couldn't they just sit those 2 players out or 3 players out, whatever it was, and still play the basketball game? Because we saw it, was it 2 years ago, Wyatt? Was it 2 years ago that Alabama had just 4 players like on the on the court because they had so many foul outs and six and people were like sick? Like they finished the game with four players.
I think they finished it with 6 because you have to have at least 5 on the floor. They won't let you have any less than 5.
I thought you could play with 4 on the court.
You might be able to, but I don't know. I know you at least. It was a short amount. I know what you're talking about.
Either way, though, they still had at least 9 other players on their court that did not test positive and could play the game. So basically, what you're saying is their whole season was lost. Air quote, they're lost because of possibly some false positives, possibly acting on the case of too much caution, maybe. Like, why not let these kids play?
No, I totally get what you're saying, and I agree with you. But the problem that they saw was the contact tracing. So everybody had come in close contact with those 2 players. So they were just assuming that everybody was going to get it, or that everybody had it. And for once, this whole time through COVID, I feel like the NCAA has kind of handled basketball well, because they said coming into this, if you have one positive test, you're done. You're out of the tournament. I don't care if you're a 1 seed playing in 16. If you have one test, it's over. And they've stuck to their guns on that. I respect that at least. With football, they screwed it up royally. Nick Saban tested positive on a Thursday and coached on a Saturday.
Do you really want to talk about that Nick Saban thing? Because let's be honest. As soon as Nick Saban's test came back positive, there was hundreds of thousands of people at the health department like, Nick Saban did not test positive. You make this right now. You guarantee that happened, Wyatt. Come on. Football in Alabama, Nick Saban is a Greek god over there.
Absolutely. And then I agree that Ohio State should have got to the national title, but there was a whole screw up situation with them not having enough games and all that situation. So the NCAA really royally screwed up football. I think they just didn't do a good job with it. But basketball, I respect it. They've stuck to their guns. They've done everything they said they would, and they've really held to it. I feel like so. I did respect that they've done that at least, and it is what it is. They said, if you have a positive test, then you're done. Because of contact tracing, because these guys practice on the court together. They spend so much time together as a team. This, Buck. I mean, as a team, how much time did you spend with the guys at K-State? Just everybody in your safety group, all that good stuff. You spend
more than
all
my
the time.
friends. Yeah,
exactly. You spend all your time with those guys because it's your team. You're supposed to. So if you get, if you test positive, but everybody else on your team isn't, and then the next day, say you play the game, and then right after the game, 3 of those guys that played test positive, then they test the other team, and they test positive, then you've got 2 teams knocked out. So why not just knock out one while you've got the chance instead of letting them go through and screw up the whole thing? I think that was kind of the mentality they had behind it.
Yeah,
that's my best guess.
Which I agree with that to an extent, right? Like I say to an extent because like what Drew just said over here in the chat line. Like he says the false positive rate is too high in order to be accurate. So it is very, very frustrating for like people that work there, like people from VCU, like those seniors. How many of them are going to go to the NBA or Europe? Maybe one tops, right? So
sure.
Their career is over because of possibly a false test.
It sucks. It really does. I 100% agree with you, and I agree that it's very unfortunate. But at the end of the day, one of those kids that his career is over, he could have infected somebody else, and then their career could have been over. Then the next person,
True.
and on and on and on.
So my biggest stance on this whole situation is, I don't necessarily agree with masks. Like, do they help? Do they not help? Like, I don't care one way or the other. Like, I'm going to follow what the educated people, tell me to like do or say. But let's keep the same energy up, guys, next year when the flu season rolls around. Let's keep the same energy up when the when the next pandemic happens, swine flu again or N1H1, like just like all that stuff. Like, we have to keep the same energy up, right? Why? So like next year when flu season is running rampant in November and December, are we going to make teams opt out of games there?
No, I bet they won't.
No, because it is just the flu, right? So
yeah,
we definitely need to keep that same energy up. Yeah, I mean, but like meaning just like honestly, I have not personally got COVID, and like I really haven't changed my lifestyle too much up, just besides like wearing like a mask. Like I'm smart. Like I wash my hands. I watch where I eat and stuff like that, and like all that stuff. But like the flu every year seems to knock me on my butt, and like I don't change. I'm living the same lifestyle as I am now, but the flu knocks me on my butt every year for at least 3 days. So, but it is what it is. But let's talk about this game happening here Monday afternoon. Like, we have Iowa versus Oregon. Oregon got that free pass basically into the second round, and they're playing a very, very good Iowa team. So why does Oregon not playing that first round game, does that hurt them going into Iowa, or does it help them?
I think it hurts them. You need that icebreaker. You need that moment where you kind of play that game, get through it, and you're like, okay, we played a tournament game. We now know what it's like. We're ready to do this. So I think you kind of need that ice-breaking moment, and I think it also doesn't benefit. I think it also benefits them as well, to where they have less on their legs. Iowa just played 2 days ago, and Oregon didn't. So Iowa's going to be a little gassed in some places. They're going to be a little sore in some places, maybe some cramps, while Oregon's going to be fresh out the gate. So it kind of just depends on how the flow of the game goes. If it's a slow-paced game, I think it benefits Iowa. If Oregon's smart, I'd have Iowa sprinting up and down the court. I'd have a fast pace, full court pressure. I mean, I'd have these guys winded, because you've got them on their heels right now. Right. You've got them to the point wwhere they're winded. They've already played a game. So run up and down that court. I mean, literally sprint up and back, gas them, just outwork them, out hustle them. And when you get to that point, then you can do things. It's going to be a close game if they do win it. To just bring it down to the end and then make that final play to win the game. But like I said, if I was Oregon, man, I would be full court pressure, trap defense. I would not sit back in a zone whatsoever. I would keep them moving at all moments. There would be no stopping the game. I would keep them flying around on all cylinders, because 100%. A slow-paced game, Iowa only benefits from that because they're using less energy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one thing, if you guys ever want bracket advice, you guys know who to come to now. Come to your man, Buck Nasty, at @manhour Bruck.
You just wait.
I am leading the man-hour bracket here, and I also picked
first round. Congratulations!
and I also picked in a play-in game, the first four to win their game, because Wyatt, because there is such things in games called nerves, right? Once you get that first game underneath your belt, you're like, oh, this is just another basketball game. I'm looking at that UCLA team. They played that playing game versus Michigan State, and then they beat BYU in their quote first round game there. So Oregon, they haven't had that icebreaker game. Iowa has, and Iowa is a damn good team. And my other bracket, like in my family bracket, which I am in last place, I actually have Iowa winning that particular bracket there. So like Iowa definitely has the advantage, but Oregon, hopefully for them, they went through some type of simulation game, like whether it be like a scrimmage or maybe even talking to like a team that like already got beat, like, hey, can you give us like a look? Like, I'm not sure like how the rules. Yeah, I mean, like I'm not sure like how those rules work, but like you would think that maybe they could get some type of simulated game just to get their, their jet lag legs out of them, right?
Yeah.
So like I know who you have picked on your bracket here, but looking at all the aspects now that Oregon hasn't played a game yet, Iowa has. Iowa looked okay in their game. I have this game circled to watch Monday afternoon. Who do you have winning this game, Iowa versus Oregon?
Give me Iowa. I got Iowa advancing pretty deep in the tournament as it is. Iowa's just a good team with a really good offense that's led by Luka Garza, one of the top players in the nation. I really like what they do offensively. Defense needs some work. That's 100% a thing. And if they're going to beat Gonzaga in the Elite Eight round whenever they meet, they're going to have to work on that defense, or else there's no way they beat Gonzaga, I don't think. So, but I'll say right now, give me Iowa. I think the inexperience and the icebreaker game kind of affects Oregon a little bit because it's tough. It is tough to open up your tournament against one of the top teams in the nation in Iowa.
Yeah, and especially like in a second round game, like when they already have a game and you don't hear. So we have had many people on the show that will be playing at this level next year. Cooper Jacoby is like one of them, and we'll have him on here in about a half hour on the man hour. But Wyatt, so far in the first two rounds, yes, you guess we still have what I think it's 8 games left for this Monday to finalize the Sweet 16.
Yes,
but who is your biggest surprise so far? Not named Oral Roberts.
Loyola Chicago. God, they are incredible. They look great defensively. They throttled Illinois. I mean, they didn't just beat Illinois. I know it was a semi-tight game at points, but really, when you break that game down, they were just a better team all around. Like I was watching it and I was incredibly impressed at I already knew they had the number 1 defense in the nation, but it showed. I mean, it genuinely showed against Illinois. Coburn didn't really have anything he could do. They really just blocked everybody up. Io didn't have anything, or Io, excuse me, had nothing that he could do. They just are a really good defensive team, and I feel like that's going to carry them pretty deep into this tournament. I feel like they have the best shot of it. Them beating Illinois, I think, was a bigger surprise to me than, say, Ohio beating Virginia, something like that. One of the first round upsets. I think them beating Illinois, I didn't think there was any chance of that. I thought that it would be like a 116 again. The 1 seed's going to move on in this one because Illinois is just a good team. They're really good in the guard positions. They've got a lot of good forwards and a good big in Coburn. So I mean, it is what it is. God, Loyola Chicago is playing really, really good basketball. And did you see the prayer that Sister Jean put out before the Iowa game?
I did not.
Or not Iowa, before the Illinois game. Let me find this for you. It is the greatest thing. Here it is. The greatest thing I've ever heard. You ready for this?
Ready.
As we play the Fighting Illini, we ask for special help to overcome this team and get a great win. We hopefully score early and make our opponents nervous. We have a great opportunity to convert rebounds as this team makes about 50% of layups and 30% of its three-pointers. Our defense can take care of that. Amen. She threw stats in there, man. She threw stats in there. Sister Jean is a different breed. She is built different. Okay? Right. Sister Jean is awesome. I am a fan of Sister Jean. After that is the greatest prayer I have ever heard in my entire life. It had basketball, it had God, and it had stats. Beautiful, Sister Jean. I am a Loyola Chicago fan for life now after seeing that. That was amazing. That was single-handedly amazing.
So, let's say they play Louisville Cardinals. Are you going to root for them over Louisville?
No.
Okay, so you're no longer a fan for life.
Is that prayer not amazing though? That's crazy. Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah. I mean, anytime what is her title like? She's like the counselor or
she's like Sister Jean. I think she's like a nun, isn't she?
Well, yeah, no, but I'm talking like the title of her at the school. She's like a chancellor or something to that. Like she's pretty high up, right? So
Yeah, I
anytime
believe so.
anytime something like that, like a president or an AD or a vice president, has a rooting interest in their school and can throw out stats and stuff like that. Like that makes me want to go to that school as a student athlete, just simply because I know, hey, my president is watching me play. Hey, my vice president is watching me play, and actually has cares about what I'm doing on and off the court. So, yes, I definitely agree with you. Loyola Chicago is definitely I will be passively rooting for them. For the rest of my life, I guess I should say. But I'm still not picking them over my Cats anytime. But why somebody picked that game? Oh yeah, Buck picked that game. Buck did pick Loyola Chicago over Illinois. I also picked the Ohio over Virginia game as well. So those games cannot be my surprises because I picked those games, right? First of all, Purdue just laid an egg. Purdue flat out laid an egg their first game.
Absolutely.
As a rooting interest in Purdue now, moving forward since Trey is going there, I want to learn more about the Purdue program and kind of root for them passively. They did not show up to play that game whatsoever. So is that game a surprise? You can say that, but yeah. Abilene Christian, that Texas versus Texas rivalry that they had,
I marked that off.
That game is a huge surprise for me, but I have a friend of mine. She is an athletic trainer for Abilene Christian down there in Abilene, Texas, and she says, "Why does this surprise you?" I'm like, well, because Texas was playing pretty darn good basketball. I saw them in the Big 12 tournament there. They were playing great, and she's like, "These kids have been playing with each other since 12 years old." Abilene Christian boys were whooping up on those Texas boys a lot longer than all of us knew. So basically what she was saying is their confidence is sky high. They are not blinded by the spotlight. They aren't blinded by the, oh, it's Texas. They're not blinded by, oh, it's the NCAA tournament. I could very well see Abilene Christian playing UCLA very, very well and beating this team because the icebreakers are over. We spoke about icebreakers. All those are over. UCLA is now playing their third game in the tournament. Second, their legs are going to get a little bit tired, come this third game. It is 3 games in 6 days, right? Well, Wyatt?
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, so, and then this is Abilene Christian's second game in 4 days. They're going to be fresher. They're just like what you said. They need to pressure them, make UCLA do a lot of non-UCLA things, I guess you say. And basically, they need to lock down Johnny Juzang. Does that name sound familiar to you, Wyatt? Johnny Juzang?
Yeah, that one kid they have on the team.
No, he was at Kentucky just last year. He transferred out because he was playing 6-7 minutes off the bench for Cal. He would come in, hit some big threes, and then Cal would be like, "Oh, you suck. Sit on the bench." And look at him now, Cal. Cal is probably kicking himself in the butt right now, 100%. Right? Come on.
He could have carried them this year, man.
I think Kentucky needed a lot more than Johnny
He needs
Juzang.
LeBron James to come down there and join him.
Hey, speaking of going pro there, did you see that the Kentucky point guard Boston has declared for the NBA draft?
Wow, I did not see that. That's huge, though.
How?
Why would he not stay another year? He played terrible.
People can say the same thing about several Kentucky players that just played bad right their first year, and then they go to the NBA and they blow up. A recent name's coming to mind: the guy that plays for the Knicks now. What's
Randall.
his name? Yeah,
Julius Randle.
Yeah, he didn't have a great Kentucky, couple seasons, but he blew up in the NBA. So, NBA is everything, right? That's why you
where
go.
All the money is.
That's why you go to Kentucky, play a year, and go to the NBA, right?
It's a factory, not a family.
Exactly.
That's what they say.
There are several games left here in the second round to round out the Sweet 16. What game do you have circled that you want to watch Monday?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. Monday, the 22nd, give me the Creighton and Ohio game. I think that's going to be the best game out there.
Winning?
Ohio. I got Ohio going to the Sweet 16. I had them in my real bracket going to the Sweet 16. I had them, winning that first game and then playing Creighton and then second round of beating Creighton here. That's going to be a really good one, as well as a matchup that a lot of people are really sleeping on right now. Michigan versus LSU. I think LSU wins this. I genuinely do. LSU's got an extremely strong offense, and with Michigan's best player out, Isaiah, I don't think they'll be able to keep up. I don't see it. I don't think without Livers, I don't think that there's any way that Michigan's able to keep up with them. So I got LSU moving on in that one as well, and that's in my real bracket. I'm actually looking at matches in my real bracket. So
I had LSU for you? That game as well.
Yeah, no, I think absolutely they do.
So my East bracket is perfect besides the Texas game. So, I mean, like I said, if you guys want some great advice, just start coming to me. Wyatt is no longer the draft expert. Buck is in first place moving forward here. So Wyatt, on the other side of the break, man, we are going to take our next break here. We got Way or No Way presented by Thrive Fantasy. If you guys type in promo code MANHOUR, they match up to $50 on your first $50 deposit. So that's thrivefantasy.com, where you can download it on iOS or Android devices. Why are you ready for the way or no ways? You are leading the way since Combs is out.
Sir.
All right,
ready.
guys. We'll be back right here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? We've got the famous Way or No Way. Combs is not here with us tonight, so I've got to take over the duties, of course. That is what I have been told from the big man, Buck, who I'm bringing onto the show now. Buck, what's going on, brother?
Man, these allergies are really starting to drag me down, Wyatt. And I took some Benadryl, so if you guys start seeing like some drool come out of my mouth, I am not dead. It is the Benadryl talking. So, and then I'm trying to counteract this Benadryl with
like a zombie
monster.
Over there, man.
Like, I'm just, dude, I'm fighting the losing battle. So, just don't be alarmed if you start seeing me go.
Yeah, I love it. But hey, we're getting into the Way or No Ways here. We're sticking with that NCAA theme since we're right in the middle of March Madness. We got some awesome tournament action going on right now. But with that being said, Mr. Buck Nasty, are you ready for the way or no way?
Give it to me, son.
All right, so the first way or no way is regarding Ohio, who we both have had going on pretty deep in our brackets here. But the first one here, Ohio. Ohio is able to go on to the Final Four, way or no way?
Well, in believity of my bracket here, I'm going to say no way because I actually do have them losing in the Sweet 16 to Missouri. So that I still have them losing in the Sweet 16. But the way they played versus Virginia, a very, very good Virginia team. However, guys, spoiler alert, Virginia flew in Friday morning and then they played Friday night. So that was absolutely crazy with that. I think this Creighton Ohio game will give us a real true test of who Ohio is. Drew, he is a big Creighton fan apparently. So I'm going to go with no way, just because I don't think they have the depth to make a deep run like that to the Final Four.
Yeah, no, I want to say way, but also at the same time, I keep looking at my bracket and I've got them moving on here and losing Gonzaga. So I don't think they go quite that far, but I will say no shame in losing at the Sweet 16 round because it took a lot to get there at that point.
Right.
But as we move on to the next one here.
And they beat because Virginia is still the defending champs, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so technically you beat the defending NCAA tournament champ, so there's no shame in that whatsoever. So
absolutely. So as we move on here, a big team that we all had losing early, a big 2 seed we all had losing early, was Alabama due to the fact that they're just too hot and cold at times. They're either on or they're off. There's no middle of the road on that. But with that being said, does Alabama lose before the Elite Eight at the round of 32 or Sweet 16 round as they play at 8:45 on the 22nd tonight? So, with that being said, Maryland, Alabama, and on from there, they'll play the winner of UCLA and Abolition Christian, or what is? I'm sorry, I pronounced that incorrect.
Abilene Christian, yeah.
Abilene Christian, excuse me.
Yeah.
But yes, way or no way, Alabama loses in their next 2 games.
So looking at the bracket as it stands right now, they do play Maryland next, and then I think they can easily beat the winner of the UCLA Abilene Christian. So Maryland is going to be the true test of them. So if they can get past Maryland, I think they're going to the Final Four. Honestly,
absolutely. And as we move on here to our next. Way or no way?
Answer the question. You just can't skim by that. You just can't give me the hard questions. Come on, man. Answer it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I think way. I think they lose in this game to Maryland coming up at 8:45. I think that they down that one. And if they do win that, God, this UCLA team and Abolition Christian, they are playing really good basketball right now. So I think that they could possibly lose there as well. But who knows? Only time will tell. But I do have them losing here. In my real bracket, I had them losing to UConn right now. But of course, UConn wet the bed on me, and Maryland went on. But with that being said, I'll still take Maryland over Van.
Hey! Before you go to the next way or no way, the way Johnny Juzang is playing for the UCLA Bruins right now, would you advise him to go to the NBA draft?
No, not yet. I think he still needs a little more time to develop in college. His game, I don't think, translates just yet. He's a really good college player, but there are just some guys who do what?
He's a really good shooter. He reminds me of Tyler Hero a lot.
Yeah, he's a good shooter, but I think he needs a little more developing before he goes on. Maybe one more year if he could do that. And then I think he'll be about ready. But yeah, so I would have him going right there. But our next one here, we've seen a lot of upsets. We've seen 8 seeds beating 1 season in Loyola Chicago, Illinois. We've seen a lot of upsets. 13 seeds winning, 15 seeds winning, 14 seeds beating 3s. We've seen all of it. And with that being said, in the Final Four level, will we see, or excuse me, way or no way, in the Final Four, we will have an 8 seed or higher, 8 through 16, not 8 through 16, 8 through 15 in the Final Four, way or no way?
As they always say, cream always rises to the top. So, I mean, this first weekend of March Madness, we always see these big upsets. We always see teams that we thought were going to go far, get beat, and then those there's a reason why Cinderella stories always end at midnight, aka the Sweet 16. Sweet 16 is the midnight for most of these Cinderella teams because the cream always rises to the top. We've been talking about icebreakers all show long, and the icebreakers are over. Now we're playing basketball. Now we are into the season and into the heart of the NCAA tournament. With that being said, though, however, there are a lot of big names, a lot of really good basketball teams that are below that 8 seed. One of which being Syracuse. Like, I think Syracuse is a darn good team.
They're
LSU
a really good team,
is
man.
a darn good team as well. So with that being said, did you say Final Four, 8 seed or lower in the Final Four?
Yeah, 8 through 15 in the Final Four. Will we see it?
Man, that is so tough, but I still got to go with no way because the cream always does rise to the top. There is a reason why these teams got the seeds that they got because they had really good regular seasons and they deserve the, quote, easier road to the Final Four. And I only see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 or 9 seeds that are that low. So no way.
We got 13 in the round of 32. 13 teams out of 32 are an 8 seed or higher. Heck yeah, give me that. In the Final Four, there will be an 8 seed or higher, and I will even go as far to say there may be an 8 seed or higher win this whole thing, considering how good Loyola has been playing. Loyola Chicago, really good defensive team, as well as Syracuse is playing really good basketball. We were talking before the show, Buck, and I genuinely think you can take any Syracuse team, just as long as they make the tournament. You can just go ahead and cut off that regular season. Just like it never happened,
As long as they're an 8 seed and lower, right?
Exactly, yeah. So, I mean, it's crazy. You can just go ahead and just cut it off, act like it never happened, and then they'll make a deep tournament run. I don't get how they continue to do this year in and year out. What was it, 2 or 3 years ago? They were a play-in game. They were a play-in game, and they went all the way to, I believe, the Final Four, Elite Eight, something crazy like that. They had to play a game just to get into the dance, and they went all that far of the distance, which we could see this year as well, of course, too. But, yeah, I mean, you got teams like Syracuse, you got Loyola, you've got a lot of really good teams, Maryland, Abilene Christian, UCLA, LSU, Ohio, Oklahoma. There's so many good 8 or above seeds.
So put a name on it. What team do you think that's 8 or lower?
Put a name. Oh man, that is tough. God, I don't want to follow on your coattails like that, but I want to say Syracuse.
Yeah, I mean,
because Loyola Chicago has had a really Syracuse had a really good run so far, but I want to go with Loyola, but they've had a really good run, but I just don't think that they will beat Oklahoma State. I think Oklahoma State wins in that game and moves on whenever
Syracuse
they beat Oregon
has
State.
To beat Oklahoma State too, so
right.
That'd be tough.
Cade, that's the Cade Cunningham name, man. He is a heck of a ball player, and things are really shaping up right now. He's got to beat an 8 seed instead of a 1 now, and he'll have to beat an 11 seed, a 10 seed, or a 2 seed to move on. So, and as of right now, the 10 seed is up over the 2 seed, 50-42. So if the 10 seed moves on, if it's 11 versus 10. For him to get there, he's going to have to be an 8 seed and a 10 or 11 seed to get to the Final Four. That is crazy to me. Wow. But yeah, so
put a name on it. Why you're kind of beating around.
I'm beating around it. I don't want to put it out there. You know what? I'm going to go.
Cut through.
I'm going completely off script here. Crazy off script. Give me Abilene Christian to go to the Final Four. God, they're playing really good basketball. They banded together. They're a really good team. And if I had to choose a second one, give me LSU. That's my other one. I really like LSU.
And if I had a Ray pointed at me saying that I had to pick a seed or like or lower, I feel like you are in the right bracket. That East bracket, that the quote bottom tier teams, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 teams left that are, but LSU is good. I mean, the UCLA, Abilene Christian, obviously one of them are going to make it to the Elite Eight, and you have Maryland beating Alabama. So by default they're going to make it to the, if that holds true, there is going to be a 11, 10, or a 14 seed make it to the Elite Eight there. And so then possibly playing like LSU. So I mean, the East bracket seems to be set up for that to definitely.
The East bracket is a wild one because when you look at it, the 2 seed is too hot and cold all the time. Colorado is another really hot and cold team. Florida State is a really good hot and cold team. Michigan is missing their best player, so they automatically get deducted. Dude, like this East bracket is insane. It could seriously come down to Abilene Christian, UCLA, LSU, Maryland, one of those teams above 8 taking it away. But nonetheless, we're moving on here to our final way or no way of the night. And this one's tough for me, but I got to say, will there be, and I know it sounds crazy to say because we always see it, it's a constant thing. Way or no way, we will see a 1 seed win the whole dance, way or no way.
Ooh, looking at the 1 seeds that we have left, we have Michigan, we have Gonzaga, Baylor, and that's it, right? Yeah, so Michigan, Gonzaga, Baylor left in the one seeds. I don't think Gonzaga makes it past the Sweet 16. We sat here on the Man Hour, or me and Wyatt have said that it is very rare that Gonzaga makes it past the Elite Eight simply because they don't play anybody during the regular season. However, this season Gonzaga did play some big names. They played Kansas, they played Iowa. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think they played Illinois as well. And then they played a North Carolina or Duke. I can't remember who they played, but they played four or five top-ranked 25 teams. Of course, it was back in November. But I think Gonzaga loses in the Sweet 16. I think Michigan loses in the second round versus LSU this Monday afternoon. Obviously, Illinois is already knocked out. So Baylor has the easiest road here so far because Ohio State got knocked out. Villanova and North Texas isn't that great. Spoiler alert, we're recording this Monday night or Sunday night, so we don't know who is going to win that game. It's getting ready to start here in like a minute. So their biggest threat is it's going to be probably Arkansas or Florida. So give me Baylor. But the correct answer is no way. I don't think they're going to win it. I still have Ohio State winning it versus Florida State in the championship game. So I'm going to go with no way. I don't think any 1 seed even makes it to the Final Four.
Give me a way on that one. I want to go with the no way here. I like the upset that just talked a lot about them, but give me no way on that, or way, excuse me. Give me Gonzaga. Gonzaga, I think, is going to go on to win the whole thing, or at least that's who I've got winning my brackets. So I hope they go on to win the whole thing because my Final Four is so jacked it's not even funny. But give me Gonzaga winning it all. I think a 1 seed does come away with it because I do agree with you. Michigan missing Livers is a huge miss on them.
Huge.
So I don't even know if they'll make it out of the round of 32. Following that, Baylor's a good team, and I honestly didn't expect them to beat Wisconsin today, but they did. I had them advancing in my bracket, but I thought Wisconsin would possibly beat them. I did not expect Illinois to go out. Honestly, if Illinois was still in it, I would say Illinois and Gonzaga are the two best, chances to go to the finals. But yeah, give me Gonzaga. I'll say yes way. I think because Gonzaga will have to beat in my bracket. They'll have to beat Oklahoma, then they'll have to beat Ohio, and then they'll have to beat Iowa. Which I think the winner of Iowa and Gonzaga goes on to win it all, and I think Gonzaga wins that. So,
which your bracket's wrong. So, but it's here and there. So why I was doing some math here, and the only way that you can mathematically beat me in the bracket challenge is if Gonzaga wins the championship game and Oklahoma State loses before the Elite Eight. So,
ouch.
Get your advice from Buck. That's what it comes. That's what it comes down to. But guys, that is going to be it for the way or no way. We're going to take a quick little break. After the break, we do have a special guest, Cooper Jacoby by state-bound Silver Creek Dragons here, and remind the listeners what colleges he is going to. Wyatt?
Yeah, he said it's Toledo.
There you go, Toledo Rockets. Rocket Ishmael played for Toledo Rockets back in 1996, right?
I guess. I don't know.
All right, guys, we'll be right back here on the Man Hour. We'll be back.
What is up, Man Hour Nation? It is the Wyatt Williams, and I am here with a very special guest, the Cooper Jacoby, headed to the state finals as of Saturday. Win over Guerin Catholic. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. How are you guys?
I'm good, man. So, you guys, before I even talk about Guerin, let's flash all the way back. So, you guys in the season with a win over Seymour. After that, you move on to sectionals. You guys open up the gate with Corydon, correct?
Yes.
Then you beat Corydon. You go on North Harrison. That was a really good game. You all only won that by 3, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very close.
Then next sectional finals was Madison. What was that sectional like for you?
Yeah, I think we were really, really thankful and fortunate to win that North Harrison game. It was a very close game. I think we were down by 6 in the fourth quarter at one point.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, so it was a little scary, but thankfully we were able to, come together as a team and finish that game off well. So being able to play Madison, I think the North Harrison game really woke us up to realize, not to take any game for granted, and that Madison game went well. Thankfully, we were able to play as a team and do well in transition, which was good and allowed us to win that sectional final, which was awesome.
Yeah, so, speaking about Madison was a team that kind of came out of nowhere this year. I mean, everybody kind of had a feeling they were going to be on the rise a little bit this year, but they had some really good wins. They beat New Albany, had a really good game with you guys, so, what was that transition like for you as a player? Because I know as a broadcaster, it was crazy for me to watch, but what was that transition as a player for you from playing Madison for years and then playing them that final time and seeing how much they had improved?
Yeah, I think it was super interesting just how they got better. I think our junior year was a pretty close game, but yeah, Nick Center played AAU with him when I was 8th grade, so he got better and better every year. But they gave it all they had the last game in I think that was like 3 or 4 weeks ago. But yeah, they're a great team and had some great players, and they'll be good again next year. Yeah. Great team. Absolutely.
So now moving on to the regional, who did you guys open? I know you guys played Connersville for the Heritage Hills. You guys opened up the regional against Heritage Hills. I forgot that for a second. Which is a game you guys played Heritage Hills the last time that you won state. You had to go through Heritage Hills, correct?
No, we played them at the Hall of Fame Classic last year. We were supposed to play them in regional last year, but COVID happened, so we didn't.
Gotcha.
That was the game that was canceled.
Okay. And then you guys go on to play Connersville, which 31-30, that is not a Silver Creek score. I heard that they had, slowed the pace of that game down all the way, sat in a zone, just blocked up and waited and burnt all the time off. And they actually had a shot at that there at the end. They had the ball and the last word for it, and they missed. Brandon with an incredible play. Brandon Northern smacked that ball away, which was awesome. But what was that Connersville game like for you? I'd imagine you're probably falling asleep out there on the court, not being able to just run up and down like you guys always do.
Oh yeah, that was not our favorite game style wise. We'd rather it being up and down, but we just played their style with taking just few shots and tried to do transition first half and a little second, but eventually we just had to dig deep and play the best defense we could, because they were going to hold it for a minute or two every time. So we just had to make sure we were making smart plays. And thankfully, Trey Shane had Isaac, all of our guys had great defense that allowed us to, make some stops and then score on the other end. Even though we scored, I think, 1 point in the fourth quarter, we're able to finish.
You only scored one point in the fourth quarter?
Mm-hmm. I think it was 30-26 at the end of the third. And then I think I made a free throw, 31, and then the final score was 31-30. So. Yeah, it was good.
That is crazy. I didn't even know that.
Mm-hmm.
That is wild. 30, if it's still 31-30. I looked at I was following Twitter on the game, right? And I was at the Lagodi regional that day. So I'm following on Twitter and stuff. And, Nikki was sitting next to me and we're riding along down the road and she's like, I think it's a tight game between Silver Creek and Connersville. And I'm like, really? Like, what's the score? She's like 31-30 with 25 seconds left, and Connorsville has the ball. And I'm like, what? I had this moment in my car where I was like scrambling for my phone, then trying to turn it on, and then flipping the radio over to Big X, and finally I got it on. And when I got it on, they had just passed the ball in. And I was listening, and I was like, oh, like, please, please, please just pull this out.
Yeah.
And then, you guys came out on top, got the regional trophy. I'd imagine now, after cutting so many nets, it's kind of like, is there a moment for you where you kind of like reel it in a little bit? Like, it's less exciting now that you've cut so many nets down, or is it still the same awesome feeling?
Yeah, it's of course it's an awesome feeling, and thankful that we could even win semi-state again and cutting those nets. It is a little different, a lot more. I think the first time around it was a lot more excited. Just never being in that situation. Just made us and I think some of the guys approach it differently. But I think we were still so blessed and thankful to make it this far, especially with that North Harrison, such a close win. We take it a little different, but to me, I still give all the glory to God to be able to make it that far and to go to a second state finals game is hard to comprehend, and it's going to be crazy to play in it.
Absolutely. So you mentioned going to the state finals. To get there, you guys had to play Guerin Catholic at Seymour.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I got stuck in traffic on the way up there, so I didn't get there quite on time. But I walk in, I try and get there about 30 minutes before so I can watch everybody warm up. But we got there a little late. I got there as the national anthem was playing. And I remember I walked into Seymour, and I looked around, and there were so many people there. It was like kind of a moment where I flashed back to like when Romeo played there against Floyd Central and that place was packed. Last year, pre-COVID, I should say, you guys against Bloomington South, just a packed house. Yeah. What was that like as a player to kind of look up around you and see all these fans there, as COVID's kind of, going away, I should say, in a sense. I don't want to jinx anything, of course, but as it's kind of spiraling away in a way, what is that like as a player to kind of look up there and see, all these fans be allowed back into games and stuff?
Yeah, I think it's crazy. Just thinking back, to the past where a lot of people were allowed to come. But I think it's our community and the support that we get from Sellersburg and from the fans of Silver Creek that allows that many people to come. But that Seymour game, was probably the most people we've had this year. But I think it brought back just memories of, because we played my sophomore year, we played our semi-state in the same situation at Seymour, and it was packed this past Saturday, but yesterday, but it was even more crowded 2 years ago. So it just brought back old memories, and I am, once again, I know I've said it a couple times, but thankful that even people can come this year.
Absolutely.
Against, of course, our first game, there was only parents, so
really,
really cool.
You're mentioning, you guys playing in state and stuff. You guys are headed to state to play Leo. But flashing back to the last time you guys were at state, you had the big play. They had the shot to either, was it they were down by, you guys were up by 2, wasn't it? Or was it you guys were up by 2 or 3, and they had the ball, and they had a shot to win it, and you had the great defensive play where you swatted it away and sent it in the other direction. Kind of run me through that moment. What were those emotions like when you swatted that ball away, and then you hear the buzzer sound, and you are you guys are the state champs?
Yeah, it was. Oh wow! First is we were up 2, and I had 2 free throws, so made the first one, which was awesome, and then second one, of course, I call a timeout to make me have to think about it.
Icing the kicker.
I know, a minute or two, and that was pretty. Everyone was talking to me, and coach was like, after he makes this free throw, blah, blah, blah. And, that was scary. And then go up to the line, miss that one. So I'm already really scared that we missed that. We're up 3. And then, Trey Galloway dribbles it up the floor. And I'm just, I don't even remember. I just know I was so scared because I was thinking, we make that free throw, we're up 4, and you don't have to play defense because
exactly. That's it.
But and making 1, it was up 3, dribbles up. And I think I tipped it out when he tried to drive left, so that was good. And then I think it was something Loving or something Watts, Britton Watts. I'm thinking of Watts from Jeff, but he had a last second heave from half court and missed that. So that was, I think, our seniors. They were screaming, and everyone followed them and, dogpiled in the middle of the court. So I don't think I'll forget that moment, but it was most excited, I've been after a basketball game, of course, in my life. So it was awesome. Awesome experience.
Yeah. So as you look forward here, now we're moving on to Leo. Mm-hmm. You guys play Leo, who I believe has the exact same record as you guys, correct? You both are 24-4 heading into the state finals.
Yep.
So you both are ready here to play this. Leo coming from the north, you guys coming from the south, of course. Mm-hmm. What are some of the things you're looking forward with this game, man?
Yeah, I think just playing like we did yesterday, and not hopefully not having the slow paced games like we've had in regional. I'm looking forward to be able to play, the fast game up and down and
space the floor.
Mm-hmm, and doing what we're good at. So that's what I'm looking forward to. We haven't scout yet, obviously, or we play in 2 weeks, so it's going to be a lot different than sophomore year. Usually we, play this next Saturday and, do film the whole week, but now we have another whole week to prepare, so it'll be a little different on that, but still work hard and practice every day and get everyone healthy for the game. But looking forward to playing our game and hopefully bringing another one back to Silver Creek, Sellersburg.
So let me move you into the situation, okay? Let's say it's a tie ball game, right? Everybody, 60 points, everybody. There's 5 seconds left, all right? You guys have the ball. Mm-hmm. If you were the coach, if the clipboard's in your hands, who's the ball going to on your team? Who's taking the shot, okay? And what's the play?
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I would say I would make caveat. I'd say it depends on who's hot and what was working before that. I don't know if
sure.
Trey, me, Brandon. I don't know specific. Maybe a pick and roll, something like that. I don't know, but I think it would depend on who has the hot hand in that moment. And I don't know. I'd say we do try to get a shot early so we can get a rebound, because going for the last, I guess 5 seconds, that's different. But with more time, I don't think you want the last second, but getting a chance to get the rebound is also important. So I don't know.
Put it back up.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a specific play or who, but probably whoever's hot in that moment.
Whoever's hot, that's what we're going to.
Just alley-oop it. You have the ball out of bounds and you just throw up the alley-oop just to Trey and let him eat, right?
Yeah. I guess. Hey, I like that. Draw up the oop, play to Trey.
So the final buzzer sounds, right? You guys win state. Let's say, like I said, the final buzzer sounds, you guys win state, you're getting ready to cut down. Which moment do you think will feel sweeter? Do you think senior year, after COVID, after getting cheated out of a state title last year, after everything you guys have been through with losing Trey at the beginning of the season, getting him back now, you guys are a completely different team since then. Which moment is sweeter, going out with the state title or kind of entering the high school scene with the title? Which one will be better in your opinion?
I have no idea. That's a great question. I haven't even thought about that. I'm not for sure. I think my sophomore year, it was so unexpected. I didn't think that we would, be able to, I was just looking forward to hopefully winning regional. I think that's what made it more exciting. My sophomore year was that it was unexpected. Of course, like you said, this year, being a senior, there's more on it. As a sophomore, there's, you still work as hard as you can, and
sure,
but you're kind of playing for, or at least I was playing for the seniors because I wanted them to, end off with the title. So being a senior now, I don't know. I don't know how it'll feel. Hopefully we can do it, but if we do, I don't know. It's a hard question. It would be exciting, but the first one was cool. I don't know. I don't know what
it's a tough situation, I'm sure.
Yeah, that is.
As a person coming from that experience, the first one is always the sweetest. I mean, like there is nothing to take away from your senior from your senior years or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? But the first one is always the sweetest, just because it is true, raw, just feeling like out there on the court. And I hate flashing back to years past, but I've been in Sellersburg, Indiana since 2016. And me and my wife, we catch as many Silver Creek games as we can because she is she went there and her brother was there as well. And driving up to Indianapolis, your sophomore year, we stopped and got gas at some Podunk Town. I can't even remember the name of it. But there were so many Silver Creek fans heading up to that game. Like your guys' class has built this community so tight and just built it up. Like, do you take a sense of pride in that? Like, just building the community up like the way you guys have?
Yeah, I think there's a sense of pride on that. I think, obviously, as eighth grader, I don't know how many people showed up to the games. I think I went to a maybe regional game when I was in sixth grade, but I don't really know if people came more or less. But the huge crowds we have, I think that's really awesome and cool. And I think we're fortunate as players to have that amount of people back us when we play. Being another factor to our games. So I think it's, as a player, you just have to be grateful that you have your. Am I back on?
Yep.
Yeah, we lost you, buddy.
Yeah, we lost that second half of what you're saying.
Yeah. So
I think we lost you again, buddy.
Yeah, no, we're having a little bit of technical difficulty. He is getting those Snapchats in saying good luck next week, huh? He is smiling with agreement. So yeah, so we are having some technical difficulties with Cooper, but Cooper, before we kick you off the show here, good luck in a few weeks here. Take time to heal the body. Definitely enjoy the ride, man, because it is a one for the lifetime that you will never forget. Me and of course you know that, going to Toledo here next year as a lock as well. But thank you for joining us, man, and we'll catch you next time.
Absolutely, buddy. Thanks for being here, man.
All right, guys. So that is Cooper Jacoby with the Silver Creek Dragons here. He is going to Toledo. Drew, he told us why he is choosing Toledo in the last interview there. I don't remember exactly why he chose it, just because it was like obviously it's a good basketball fit for him. So we'll have to go back and replay that interview for him. Any closing thoughts, Wyatt?
No, I guess I think you closed it off, man. I wish him the best of luck. I cannot wait. I will be at that state championship game whenever they play Leo. I'm super excited for Coop to play, Trey, all of them. So absolutely best of luck to him. It's super exciting because I've got to call their games for years now and got to kind of watch these guys, develop over time and stuff. So it's really cool to kind of see everything come full circle now. They've all put in the work. They've all got to this point. And Cooper and Trey both, man, they have really worked their tails off. They're here as seniors, and I don't want to single anybody else out, because there are a lot of guys on the team like Trey Shane who've done a lot of great stuff to be a part of it as well. But yeah, I mean, hey, just the best of luck for them, and good luck with the state title next week. I said I'll be there. It's going to be a lot of fun.
And welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Wyatt Williams here as allergies are kicking up to cloud 9 right now.
Oh, man, I thought you died, man. I texted you. I was like, you good, man?
Yeah. No, I think my soul literally left my body and said, are you good, man? Like, are we straight? And then came back on. So, Wyatt, we have talked a lot of NCAA basketball. We had a great interview with Cooper there. He had some technical difficulties there toward the end. Basically, his phone was blowing up for saying congratulations. Like, let's just be honest. I mean, Cooper is a very, very good kid. Not a good kid. He's a great kid. And you know, anytime we can have him on, I'm very excited to have him on. So, shout out to him 100%. So, it is time to shift gears here. Let's shift it into the NFL gear. So let's go ahead and get 4 on the tree there and kick it into NFL offseason. Free agency has a full week in there. So far, we've had some big signings. The Patriots basically went like $85 million. Like, here you guys go. Give me some players here. So how does this affect the draft moving forward, man?
Man, I don't know. I will say the most interesting and cool thing that I did see, though, involving the Patriots, was that they said they're really fond of and really like Justin Fields. I think that would be a really good move, actually, for them. You know, they've already got Cam Newton there at the helm. I think Cam Newton is a lot like Justin Fields. Of course, Justin Fields isn't as powerful of a runner as Cam, because Cam is just, you know, gigantic and freakishly athletic. But I will say, in the places where Justin lacks athleticism compared to Cam lacks an arm compared to Justin Fields. I think Justin Fields has a better arm than Cam. So I think it's a really good fit. I think he'll learn a lot off of Cam. I think he'll learn a lot about the game with Bill Belichick. And let's just be real here. Nobody doesn't like landing in New England. You know, it's a great place to play for a coach. And, you know, you've got Bill Belichick, one of the greatest, if not the greatest, and one of the greatest head coaches of all time in NFL history. You've got Super Bowl trophies sitting around everywhere. Those just don't come out of air. And it's a team that really essentially is kind of, after all these additions, kind of a quarterback away. I mean, I think you could say at this point, you know, they're in a really tough division, so I don't know if they'll be a Super Bowl contender immediately right out the gate, but this is definitely a big step in a direction if they come away with Justin Fields, which we'll get back to those mock Mondays here soon once this tournament's all over. But I'm really excited for the things to come in the future for the Patriots. I think they've got a lot going for them at this moment.
So are you giving us a kind of a preview that the Patriots are going to jump up in the draft and take a quarterback?
I don't know. I think they sit at pick, I believe it's 13, something like that. I'll check for you, but
I think it's 16.
16, okay. They sit in the teens somewhere. So I don't know if he will still be available then, but maybe you put 2 picks together. Maybe you put this year's first, next year's first, and this year's second round together, and give that to Atlanta, and maybe you come away with Justin Fields with that 4th overall pick. Who knows? It'll all depend on how they do with trading. I doubt he'll still be on the board then. I doubt it, honestly. So I think
at
16 for them
or a 4
at 16. Okay. I think he'll be on the board at 4. I think 4 is where he goes. That's what I'm saying. Like, okay. But I don't see him being on the board at 16. I think Justin Fields is too good of a player for that. I think he's too good of a quarterback for that. So, I mean, the guy literally ran a 4.40 as a quarterback and said once the pro day, Ohio State pro day comes around, he's feeling really good and he thinks he'll be around a 4.340 range, somewhere in there. So a lot of good things to come. And he's not a super, you know, he's not just a mobile quarterback. He's got a really good arm behind him too. So that's what I really like about Justin Fields as well. I mean, I think his draft stock is rising right now, so I think he's really moving up in the ranks, and I would really love for the Patriots to make a move at him.
So you said his draft stock is like moving up. So how do you list your top 5 quarterbacks now?
Top 5 quarterbacks right now. I got Trevor Lawrence at 1, of course. I think everybody does. You know, he's just a field general, but mixed with a strong arm, athletic talent. God, you can't go wrong. He is, if you were to build, if a scientist was to build the perfect quarterback or what looked to be the perfect quarterback for a draft, then Buck Nasty is 1, and Trevor Lawrence is a very close second. No, I'm just kidding. Trevor Lawrence would be that guy. And so I think Trevor Lawrence goes first there. He is everything you need at quarterback, a leader. He sees the field really well. He's got a great arm. He can use his legs if he needs to. A football IQ guy to the max. So that's my 1 is Trevor Lawrence. Number 2, this is a real close toss-up. I like Justin Fields. I like Zach Wilson. But I think Zach Wilson has a little less, I guess you could say a little less tread on the tires, as for say, because he didn't play as many games and not as many games against, the top talent in college football as Justin Fields did. So I think there's a little less wear and tear on Zach Wilson. So I like, and also Zach Wilson sees the field really well. He's a really athletic guy. Something he does that I've only seen 2 quarterbacks before him do, that is Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. I don't mean to bring up Packers guys here, but he is really good. Exactly. He is really good at throwing accurately while his feet aren't set. He does a really good job of that. And Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre do that a lot. I think Aaron learned that from Brett, and I think Zach Wilson just another prototype that learned that over the years. But he does a really good job at stepping up in the pocket as well. He's got really good awareness in that situation, so he knows when to step up, when to go. He knows what time it is at all times. He knows if it's time to stay, if it's time to go, whatever it is. So give me Zach Wilson at 2, and with a very close second. If you want to say 2A and 2B, 2B would be Justin Fields. A really good arm talent, could put the ball wherever you want on the field. He can use his legs. I think he has some cracks in his game, but I think they get solved. There are a few cracks, not many whatsoever. He's a really good prospect at quarterback. I mean, in his first year at Ohio State, starting the whole year, he threw, I believe it was only 3 interceptions all year, and made it to the college football playoffs. Lost to that year's national champion Clemson Tigers. So Justin Fields is just a really good player, and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He has shown at times that he can. The IU game is a game I want to reference on that. Right. That was really where I saw the cracks in his game. So that's why I put him at 3. Next, moving on to 4, another close toss-up, but I won't say close toss-up. Give me Trey Lance. I'll take Trey Lance. I think Trey Lance is a poor man's Justin Fields. I think he is, let's say Justin Fields is a level 10 at everything, then Trey Lance is a level 9 at everything. He's just behind him on the development. He didn't play the talent that Justin Fields did. I think Justin Fields will be more NFL ready per se than Trey Lance. So the biggest thing with Trey Lance, I think he's a really good prospect, but I think North Dakota State is a place that, they're not wildly known for releasing top tier talent. The only really top tier talent they've ever released, that's what I'll say, the only one they've ever released really is Carson Wentz. So I think he's riding off of that hype train of Carson Wentz. Right now, they're all saying, the last time that North Dakota State had a, freakishly good athletic quarterback, it was Carson Wentz. He went on to, almost lead a team to a Super Bowl. He got injured, of course, and didn't get to. But I think that's what they'll really look at there. So I got Trey Lance at 4. Like I said, he's a lot like Justin Fields. And then at 5, I'll take Mac Jones, a guy who it's an athletic quarterback. He knows, he can put the ball where you want him to. He also knows when to step up in the pocket. He's not the best on his legs. He can run if he needs to, but he's not anywhere near like a Justin Fields level. So I think that's where he takes that step down. So I'll take him at 5. I'll take Mac Jones at 5.
So yeah, like just like what Wyatt was saying, our mock Mondays will be coming back here. What the draft is late April, if I'm not mistaken. So we need to have them come back pretty soon here to have your mock draft 2.0 moving forward here. So probably Wyatt, let's try to sneak that in there next week with some March Madness talk. So mock draft 2.0 coming, let's say next week, on the Monday edition here on the Man Hour. So one of the biggest signings kind of flew underneath the radar as our man Drew over here on the Facebook page says that Juju Smith-Schuster back to the Steelers. Why? How do you feel about Juju going back to the Steelers? Because there has been rumors of I believe it was him going to the Jets, right? I mean, that was gaining a lot of traction. So what are your first initial thoughts about Juju going back to the Steelers?
I think it really shows excuse me. I think it really shows his loyalty to Pittsburgh in a way. I believe it was the Ravens and the Chiefs both offered him more money and a longer contract. I believe it was. I know for sure it was the Ravens. I'm not sure on the Chiefs. I think it was the Chiefs. Both of those two teams, I believe, offered him. No, I know that there were two teams that offered him more money and longer years, and it was those two, I believe. But with that being said, those two both, he chose Pittsburgh over those two teams that are, more capable of winning a Super Bowl, in my opinion, at the moment. So I think it shows his loyalty to Pittsburgh. I think it's a really cool moment where Juju reunites with his team. He said, I'm not all about the money. I'm not all about the extension. I love the game of football, and I love my teammates. I love my coaching staff. I love the city of Pittsburgh. So I think that's kind of what we got out of Juju. I gained a lot of respect through his loyalty to his team, to his teammates, to his coaching staff, and to his city. So I gained a lot of respect for Juju out of this move.
Or is it the fact that Juju needs a solid number 2 to produce in the NFL? Because look what he did with Antonio Brown.
He would have a solid 2 in Kansas City. He would have a solid 2. He would be the 2.
The number 1 though.
He would be the 2.
Would Juju be the number 2 or be the? I would even put him as number 2. He would be like a number 3 or number 4 option on that.
No, Juju would be 2 in because like McCole Hardman's really good and he is right now the 2 for them. Right. I think talking about wide receivers, of course, not talking about tight end because if that was the case, Travis Kelce, of course, is the 1 there. But with that being said, I would have to say he would be the 2 because they don't really have that physical go-get-it wide receiver. And that's kind of what Juju is. Juju's that guy you can throw up the ball to, and he'll come down with it. Well, am I forgetting his name now? Tyreek Hill. Well, Tyreek Hill is a guy that you can throw the ball up to him, but he's a short guy. He's not going to be that guy to do that. He's the guy to burn you. He's the guy that you can just throw the ball 80 yards down the field and he catches it with 20 yards of separation because his release is incredible and he gets away from all defenders. So that's what he is. So I think he would probably be the 2 there. I think McCole Hardman is a lot like Tyreek Hill as well. So I think he would fit in as the 2 and McCole Hardman would be the 3 at the wide receiver core. Now, if we're talking about tight end included, all receivers, tight ends, and wide receivers, he'd be the 3, of course, because I think Travis Kelce's the 1, Tyreek Hill is the 2, and then he would be the 3.
Yeah, and I think Tyreek Hill would benefit a lot more being a number 2 or number 3 receiver on the Kansas City Chiefs, just to give him more space to work from the slot. Just being able to have that deep threat and him kind of be underneath and kind of use his speed in the open field there.
Him and Kelce, I believe, were 1 and 2 for receiving yards this year, something like that. They were both top 5, I know that, and they were both doubled more than any receiver in the league. That's crazy to me.
Right? Yeah, I mean, so that is pretty crazy to me as well. And then Drew also comes and says, Kyle Rudolph signs with the Giants. So I did not know that. So that's kind of news to me. I've been fighting these allergies and out hiking and doing family stuff. But what are your initial thoughts on that?
I think it's a good move. He is that lurking tight end that you take the red zone and you just throw it up to him. He catches it every time. It seems like, Kyle Rudolph is just a big guy, man. He is a crazy good athlete. So I think he's that guy you can depend on in the red zone. Where you just throw it up, he comes down with it. And also, you look at their tight end situation currently, Evan Ingram is a good tight end, but he's not great. I mean, I know he made the Pro Bowl, but I don't think he deserved to make the Pro Bowl. I think there were many other tight ends that could have fit that category above him. His problem is he's too inconsistent. He drops the ball a lot. So, this is a nice addition because Evan Ingram is more one of those wide receiver tight end kind of guys with a slash in between. He can play the wide receiver position where Rudolph is strictly a tight end. What you're getting out of him. He's that guy in the red zone you throw it up to and he comes down with it. Where Evan Ingram isn't really that guy. And also Evan Ingram's on his last year of his contract coming up. So that's a nice tight end duo to have between those two. You've got 2 top 10, top 15 tight ends in the league on your team, 2 options you can throw to, 2 options that you can, scheme for to be as decoys. So it just opens up the field more as well. And with them adding Kenny Golladay too, the Giants are shaping up to be a team nobody's expecting to come out of nowhere. The NFC East has gotten a whole lot better here in the last couple of weeks with, Washington making some good moves, as well as the Giants making good moves. I kind of feel like the only people who made no moves or bad moves was really the Cowboys and the Eagles. It's like the Eagles haven't done anything. We got a lot of Eagles fans on here, Brian Pirtle and all of them. And, the Eagles are probably my second favorite team because I go over there and watch it with them every weekend. But, they just haven't really made any crazy good, standout moves. And the Cowboys, the only move they've made is, their quarterback taking up 40% of their salary cap. So I don't know. It's like, it's so like it's zero or hero with the NFC East. They're either making great moves and big moves, or they're making no moves or terrible moves. It doesn't make sense to me. But yeah, I think this is a nice addition for them.
Yeah. So, like last year I had the Giants as my sleeper team in all of NFL. That was before Saquon went down, obviously. And I think with Saquon going down, this past season helped Daniel Jones mature as a quarterback because he doesn't have to he isn't solely relying on the running game. And then you add a good tight end. There's that one point where they called Kyle Rudolph the end zone deer or something to that effect over there in Viking land. But then adding Kenny Galladay as well, and then the improvement of Daniel Jones, guys, the New York Giants are shaping up to probably be the front runners in this NFC East moving forward.
I think
Why
so.
are you kind of concerned? Do you concur with that a little bit?
Yeah, I agree with it definitely. I think the Cowboys will, play a little bit of fact in that because, they did make some dumb moves, but still they're a good team. So I think that the Cowboys have a little something to say about that. I think the Eagles will shape out to give a little bit of the division a run, but I think until they get a solid piece at quarterback, I don't think they need to move forward on anything. So I don't think the Eagles do anything, and I don't think that Washington will do anything crazy. They still got to figure out that quarterback situation there as well. So yeah, I think it's between the Giants and I think it's between the Cowboys. And as of right now, I would give the Giants the edge just because, they don't have three players taking up all their salary.
So fun fact, the last time a team repeated as champions in the NFC East, that was the same year that there was a repeat Super Bowl champion. So do we see Washington football team winning the NFC East and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers winning the Super Bowl again this year?
Man, that's tough. I don't want to count Tom Brady out at any moment, because I feel like over my time of watching football, I feel like we all have to learn about that. Like, hey, don't count him out, So, I don't know. I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will definitely be a favorite for it. I think that they are a front runner, of course. So I could see it. Absolutely.
So give me your way too early prediction of the Super Bowl before we head to our last break.
Way too early prediction of the Super Bowl. Man, I'm going to sound like a homer. I know it. I know I'm going to sound like a homer. Give me Green Bay and the Bills, and I think Green Bay wins it.
So you're taking the Bills over the Kansas City Chiefs, over the Ravens, over the Colts. You think the Bills are the real deal, huh? So Mitchell Trubisky made the Bills that much better, huh?
No, he definitely didn't. But who was the wide receiver they added? Why am I forgetting?
I don't know. I'd have to look it up. Was it Emmanuel Sanders?
Yes. Emmanuel Sanders makes them much better. I think that was a nice addition. Takes some of the load off of Cole Beasley and Stephon Diggs. So I think that makes them better. I don't know. The AFC is such a toss-up. Same with the NFC. I could give you three teams right now I think would win it.
Sure. Go for it.
Okay. So Tampa Bay, Green Bay, and those are the only two right now I think are the front runners in the NFC. Three from the AFC, I think you said them already. It was KC, Bills, and then give me the Colts over the Ravens. I like the Colts a lot. So I'll take those three, and then I think there's only two teams in my head that really make that outward push for the Super Bowl. I think it's Green Bay or Tampa Bay next year. It'll be a Bay team.
So you are picking the NFC to win the Super Bowl in 2022, right?
Yep.
I mean, obviously that's way too early. We still have training camp. We still have the draft to come. We still have preseason. Yeah. There's still a lot to come in the NFL season. But we are entering a week 2 of the NFL season, so we are going to. Obviously, guys, the NFL is their bread and butter here on the Man Hour. But we are going to take our last break of the night. Here on the other side of the break, guys, we're going to open up to Shop Talk. So if you guys want to talk about anything sports related, let us know in the comments. We do have some questions waiting there for us, Wyatt. So be prepared to answer some of those NFL questions like I see there. So if you guys want to talk about anything, let us know, and we will discuss it right here on the Man Hour. We'll be right back, guys. Welcome back to the Man Hour, guys. Michael Buckhouse along with Brandon Combs is not here tonight. Wyatt Williams, man, do you believe in like patterns, Wyatt? Because I said Brandon's name like 5 times.
That's the way you always say it, though. That's how you open the show. Hey, it's Mike Buck, Brandon Combs, Wyatt Williams. That's the talk.
Yeah, it just sometimes you get in that groove, but I've not been in the groove at all tonight. These allergies are kicking my butt, Wyatt. I'm not even gonna lie, man. Like I've had to go off air like 3 or 4 times and just like blow my soul out of my body. And
it's all good, man.
Man, it is running, and my eye just like it looks like I've been hanging out in Colorado for like 6 days nonstop, man. But if you guys have missed any part of the show whatsoever, you can download us on iTunes, Spotify, and iHeartRadio as well. You can also follow us on youtube.com/Man Hour. We are live there every Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. East Coast time, and Sunday through Thursday, 8 p.m. East Coast time. You can also become a member on the members only tab at manhourradio.com. As little as $3 a month, you get some after hours footage Monday through Thursday, starting at 10 p.m. East Coast time on that. So Wyatt, we've talked a lot of NCAA basketball. We dabbled a little bit in the NFL free agency as as well. Had a great interview with our man Cooper Jacoby, state-bound Silver Creek Dragons. So huge shout out to those guys there. So let's go ahead and jump into the comments, guys. It is time for Shop Talk. So if you guys wanted to talk about anything sports related or just anything in general, just let us know in the chat, and we will definitely talk about them. So the first question comes from Drew over here on the chat line. It says, with Trubisky going to the Buffalo Bills, what happens to Jake Fromm?
I don't think the Bills had any plan for Jake Fromm, if we're going to be honest. They've got Josh Allen. So I don't know what exactly the Bills did with getting Jake Fromm. I mean, it's a solid backup. It's a guy you can trust to go in. He's an okay guy, at QB. So, he's a guy I think that's what his role is there. He's just to be a backup. If he really wants to do something with his pro career, he needs to go and join a team like Washington that it's dying for a quarterback. So
right,
it is what it is.
Yeah, I secretly am like rooting for Jake Fromm to have like a stellar NFL career, because like I watched him on that QB1 on the Netflix documentary, like I think it was, and I feel like he was the only one coming out of high school that kind of had like a level head with like a good backing, and just like I don't know, I secretly root for the guy. So you think the only way Jake Fromm has a quote successful NFL career is if he goes to like Washington. Like, what about a team like the Patriots? Like I was kind of hoping the Patriots would have drafted him last year, right, or 2 years ago.
I had him drafting him.
Yeah,
in my mock. Yeah, no, I wouldn't just saying Washington. I was just saying a team that needed a quarterback. I wouldn't saying, just Washington. But yeah, I mean, I think for him to really expand his career, he's not going to do it in Buffalo. It's like the backup quarterback in Kansas City. He knows he's not going to be, that guy. So I think it just kind of comes with understanding what's going on with your quarterback situation there.
You know what though? Being a backup quarterback to a player like that, like Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, even like Lamar Jackson, I guess, like, you are an habitual backup quarterback, but you're making millions of dollars to like never play a snap of football. And when you go in there, they are not expecting anything out of you whatsoever. So like you can blow them out. So you can just flat out stink and you'll be totally fine. Your job's secure still, or you can blow them out of the water and you get a massive deal to go somewhere. Right. So I don't know. I mean, but yeah, I think Jake Fromm ultimately gets released probably or traded. I'm not for sure how their salary cap or his because he signed there as a free agent, right? Like he wasn't even drafted, right?
Yes, I believe so.
So I mean, he probably doesn't make it through training camp. Let's just be honest. Also over here in the sideline, didn't somebody sign Kenny Galladay? Yes, he went to the New York Giants and probably makes them the favorite in the NFC East, right there. Why? Like, are we kind of both on board with that?
Yeah, no, I think so. We talked about it a little bit earlier, but I definitely think so. I think if not the favorite, it definitely puts them in contention there with the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a good team. The problem is they've spent too much on certain assets, and they're going to have a good team for 2 or 3 more years. Then everything's going to go to shambles. It's all going to catch on fire, and when other people don't have money, me and I might go play for the Dallas Cowboys. Buck, you might have to put the shoulder pads back on, man, and you go play safety. I'll go play some, D-line and offensive tackle, I guess, for them, because they're only going to have money to pay guys like us. They're running themselves out of money, brother.
You know how teams like this succeed? Because, like, was it the San Francisco 49ers that back in, like, when was Steve Young's, like, last year, like 95 or 93 or something like that? Like, they basically built this team up to, like, have all these massive deals, and then the 49ers went, no, it was the Raiders. Like, they built everybody up and then went poof like the next year. I could see that happening to the Dallas Cowboys. Not next year, not the year after that, but the 2024
season. I'm thinking like 2 years season, out, yeah.
Man,
it's going to hit the fan.
0-16.
You know what's going to hit the fan.
Yeah, I mean, 0-16 is not going to be out of the realm for the Dallas Cowboys fans coming 2024. So we were talking about our Super Bowl or your Super Bowl picks before we went to the break, and over here in the chat line, they're saying, "What about the Rams adding Matthew Stafford in at quarterback? They added some defensive pieces as lock as well.
Yeah,
are you sleeping on the Rams?"
No, so I mean, I don't think I'm sleeping on the Rams necessarily. I think the Rams are going to be good. I just need to see them play first. I need to see this working in motion. Then we'll go along. I'm just doing my, we're just tossing names around right now. I don't know what, 6 months from the start of the NFL season, a year away. So we're just tossing out names and stuff. Honestly, the Rams absolutely could be a contender. The Rams could win the Super Bowl next year. It all depends on how this team works. If the team works well together, we could be talking about a Super Bowl contender. If the team doesn't work well, we could be talking about a 7-9, catastrophe. Who knows? They play in a really tough division with 3 good teams. I mean, Arizona made a lot of great moves. Arizona's going to be a good team. Seattle is always a good team. It's just that simple. Just as long as Pete Carroll's coaching you and Russell Wilson's man in the quarterback position, just as long as he's still there, Seattle is going to be a good team. Then you got the 49ers. If they're healthy, they're a Super Bowl contender. So
they were Super Bowl with the same roster that they had, a healthy roster.
Yeah. So I mean, it is what it is. So I think I got to see him play first. I got to see him really get into it, and then we'll go from there.
I want to see if Matthew Stafford can handle the pressure of like expecting to win. Because let's be honest, his 8, 9, 10 years in Detroit, he was never expected to win.
No,
right?
Not at all.
Once Stafford
had a winning season and made the playoffs. That was awesome.
Yeah, once Stafford went to LA, it was like Super Bowl talk. It's like they just signed the greatest quarterback ever, and they expected like Super Bowl. And so I'd be curious to see how Matthew Stafford handles that pressure going towards L.A. And the next comment comes through here is what does it mean when they say club action activated? I don't know what that means at all. Why?
Not
any
sure.
idea?
Not even. Nope.
I mean, every time I see the word club, I think Major League Baseball. So, Drew, if you could, put a little bit of context into that comment there, we'll be able to further,
evaluate. I don't know.
Because
what
club
am
action
I supposed
activated.
to say to that?
I'm not for sure.
I can take a guess, but I don't want to.
Then another comment comes through. He says he thought Fromm was better than Trubisky. I really kind of wish we had Combs on here to talk that. So, do you think Fromm is better than Trubisky?
It's one of those things I got to see him play. I think that's definitely a possibility. Fromm was really good at Georgia. So I think it's just one of those things where I gotta see him play in the league. I gotta see how it all transfers over. And then we'll go from there. But I think it's definitely a possibility.
Yeah, there's a reason why Fromm did not go drafted in the NFL, and Trubisky was 10th overall pick or something like that. Or no, he was higher than that, wasn't he?
He was second overall pick.
Yeah, so second overall pick. So
I think Fromm was a second round pick, I believe.
I didn't think he even got drafted, man. I thought he went undrafted.
Because he was supposed to go at the very end of it. I'm not 100% sure, though. I'll check when he got drafted. I believe it was either the second or third round.
Well, but either way, Trubisky was obviously drafted higher than Fromm was. So I'm not saying we base everything off of draft picks, but obviously somebody saw more potential in Mitchell Trubisky than Jake Fromm. The biggest knock about Jake Fromm was just he did not have the mental game to play in the NFL.
Oh, wow. It was late. It was 5th round pick 167.
Okay, yeah, there we go.
That was deep into the draft. Wow.
Yeah. So next question that we have coming through the chat line here, it says, should the Chiefs bring back Alex Smith to a backup to Mahomes? I think they should. So I went on record once Alex Smith did get released from the Washington football team saying that the Kansas City Chiefs should reach out to him to get Alex Smith the Super Bowl ring, because I think Alex Smith is probably one of those players that everybody wants to see get a Super Bowl ring, much like Larry Fitzgerald. There's some other players like DeAndre Hopkins, right? J.J. Watt, those type of players. So Alex Smith, I feel like if he is going to sign with a team, it'll be after the draft and probably a week or two before preseason starts. So he is kind of a last call resort. If your backup goes down, at this point, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that's a bad idea. I mean, once again, you just kind of bring him in to sit behind Mahomes. If Mahomes goes out, you've got a heck of a backup that you can throw in there for a game that knows the system, knows the team, played with all those teammates. So once again, if Mahomes, say he twists an ankle right before the playoffs, and it's not a serious injury, but it's an injury that needs some care to it. It's an injury that you need to take a week or two off to make sure it's healthy going into the playoffs. Alex Smith is a heck of a backup to throw in there that can win you 2 games. So, I mean, it is what it is. I think that Alex Smith will be a really nice backup for that team.
Yeah, so sorry I had you on mute there as allergies kicked up again. I think Alex Smith would be a great backup for any young quarterback. I think he should have stayed in Washington, to be honest with you, and taught what's the guy's name there? Heineke, right?
Heineke,
I think he should have. I mean, we saw what Alex Smith did with Mahomes. I mean, I'm not saying he gave him all of his talent, but he taught him how to prepare. What?
I don't think he gave him all of his talent, no.
No, but he taught him how to prepare and how to, watch film. I mean, so there is an art to watching film and stuff like that. When I go into a film room, I don't watch the actual play. For me, for example, as a linebacker coach, I sit there and I watch what the offensive line does. If it's a pass play, and I know if it's a pass play, what are they doing with their hands? What are they doing with their heads? Are they looking left? Are they looking right? Everybody has tendencies, and Alex Smith taught Patrick Mahomes that. I mean, it helped him, definitely move along the field here. And then as the last comment we're going to address here, and he says club option activated. So I did Google this because, Combs is not here. Combs is our baseball guy. And like I said, when I think of club, I think baseball, right? So what it says here is a club option is an optional year at the end of the contract, which may guaranteed at the direction of the club. If the player is injured or performs of a level that the club believes is an option value to be too expensive, the club will typically buy out the decline the option. So that kind of refers to as like the 5th year option of the rookie deal of the NFL. Like I think that's kind of what I got out of it. But then he says no Buck football free agency. So I would assume it is the 5th year option, right?
Yeah.
Does that kind of make sense?
I think so.
So it's like much like Mitchell Trubisky, like the Bears declined his 5th year option. So meaning like that they didn't even offer him the 5th year because he supposedly sucks, but that's here nor there.
He does suck.
Whatever, you guys are ridiculous. Why? Any closing thoughts, man? Before we head out.
I would have to say good luck to your March Madness bracket. I hope it's not as busted as everybody else is. Good luck in your bracket pools.
All right, guys.
Unless if you're in my bracket pool, then good luck to me.
Yeah. All right, guys, that is going to be it for tonight. Join us every Monday through Friday here on Big X Sports Radio, 3 p.m. East Coast time. Man Hour Nation, rise up. Man, my allergies are killing me right now, dude.
I bet.
Good grief.
We're still live, bro.